Right then, it's a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SR diesel. The car's covered 77,000 miles, comes with a very good history attached to the car, and will have a new MOT. Come in via part exchange, very good condition for its age, finished in urban titanium, which always looks good on these cars, full black leather interior, panoramic roof. Front of the car, generally very good, just light stone chipping, but very, very light indeed. Lights and lenses, very clean, clear and intact. Grommets, very, very good. Near side of the car, sorry, it's a bit of a rush because it's about to pour down, so I have to scoot around this one. Near side, really clean. Near side rear alloy, generally good, a bit of pickling, which is common on these cars at this age. This one's actually better than most. It's got a bit, but it is better than most. Flanks, very good. Near side rear alloy, actually very good indeed. On the back of the car, all nice and tidy. There is a bit of touching in, been done just down there. It's on the plastic bumper, it obviously can't rust, but it has been done, and the point of the video is to show anything I can. As I said, generally it's lovely, flanks are lovely and crisp, no indentations there. Offside rear alloy, generally good, just the centre's got a little bit of pickling on the spokes, and then remaining panels, very good. Final alloy again, a little bit pickling on a variety of the spokes in the inner centre there, but yeah, for a car that's 9 years old, so the miles it's done, it's in lovely condition actually. It's coming to the back of the car now, absolutely cavernous boots on the Civic, and always very nicely finished. It's coming to the back, wide opening rear doors, full black leather interior, which again for a car that's a family car has been kept in very nice order actually. On the passenger side, full set of original mats in the car. Passenger seat again in very, very good condition. Finally coming to the front, door card again lovely and clean. So the footwell area is really nice. Driver's seat again really good, with just the minor sort of scuffing as you get in and out, but again much better than you'd ordinarily see. So inside the car now, engine's running as is always the case. Dashboard illuminated. Sat nav, you can see working exactly as it should. Just pop the car into reverse again, you see reverse parking camera working perfectly, complementing the front and rear parking sensors. And that is the view you get as a driver in a Civic. Absolutely stunning dashboard, it really is. Always set the wheel halfway between the top of the rev counter and the speedo. You get the perfect view. Just to come up there for you, hopefully you can see 77,022 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and roll nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video on an absolutely foul day, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.6 SR diesel. Car's registered LB64EOT, and with a mileage of 77,022 recorded. The reason, as we always say for this video, and especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is purely because, like lots of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got an obvious fault that shows up. Also done on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire. Even on a horrible day like today, it's lovely. And then this road, or the road test actually forms part of the test route. We take our customers on test drives, and the hope is, of course, then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself, you know, should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, being very well looked after. It's obvious as soon as you drive it, it just feels as tight as a drum on the road. It really does. They're fabulous cars to drive and to own. Engine starts instantly and settles to a completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge is running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. But the engines are simply fantastic. I've literally just driven one to Cardiff and back, and I averaged 73 miles per gallon, which is extraordinary. In my ownership of these, and I've had a few, when I'm mixing my driving up, I'm not doing particularly MPG friendly trips, so they tend to be shorter trips. I'm still going to be around about 60 to the gallon. So the economy does come to them, and relatively easily. But it's just a lovely engine. It's got plenty of urge, and it's quiet, it's refined, especially at cruise. And of course, being a Honda, they are beautifully engineered and very reliable, just good regular maintenance. They're also cam chain driven, by the way, so there's no cam belts to worry about on them, and it never needs changing as part of regular maintenance. Engine then feeds into the clutch and gearbox in the car. Clutch in the car, nice and smooth and positive. Bite point's exactly where it's meant to be, so all in fine fettle there. And then the gearbox is your classic Honda gearbox, just a beautifully done gear change. It feels substantial, it feels mechanical, very direct. It's just really pleasant to use, in direct contrast to some of its competitors who give you kind of light, vagueless, notchy gear changes. And this feels exactly like it would have done when it was new, because they just don't seem to wear. And then you come to the steering and chassis of the car. As I always say, probably my favourite part of the vehicle in some ways, because these can, do two things. These cars, in a funny old way, they can be just, if you just want it as a good, comfortable family car, they do the job brilliantly. But they also allow those who still enjoy their driving to enjoy their driving. It's very direct, it's keen to change direction, they handle beautifully, but as I said, they ride very comfortably as well, dealing with most road imperfections absolutely beautifully. And incidentally, there's absolutely no rattles or clonks coming from underneath the car through the suspension, and the steering track's bullet straight, and there's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. Give the brakes a bit of a thump. I know they're good, but just for demonstration purposes, make sure no one's directly behind me. But it's a really good solid brake pedal on the car. There's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, so all in fine order there. And then we come inside the vehicle, which is just a lovely place to sit. Beautifully put together cars. There's no squeaks or rattles from the interior at all. Lovely choice of materials in here, and as I say, because it's dark, I'm sorry the lighting might not be great, but hopefully it's okay. But I've always maintained, I've always loved this interior on the car. It dares to be different, but not just for the sake of being different. It's there entirely to serve a purpose. What appeals to one person won't necessarily appeal to anybody else. But I think Honda have done a brilliant job on this car. It really, really did. And I still prefer it to the next generation. I've got the 10th generation, and I'd still prefer this interior. I find it easier to operate the car, in all honesty. The most conventional part is the centre stack here, but it's very simple to use. Got sat nav all functioning perfectly, dual zone climate control system, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you so wish, and it pumps out lovely cold air. We went into a nice warm workshop to check that. Heated seats, which I've got on at the moment because it's a bit of a chilly old day. Again, working absolutely fine. All the switchgear, as is always the case with Honda, have a beautifully damped, high quality feel to them. Everything does, everything you touch. And then you've got this fantastic dash design in front, the two-tier upper and lower decks, which is genius in my opinion, because it works brilliantly. The upper deck is the information you're going to look at most commonly. So you've got an information display panel there. So if you were to change things on the radio, or like fan speed, you get a smaller display in the down here. But if you press a button, you get a much bigger, bolder display up there, so you can see it more easily on the move. But the one you look at most regularly, of course, hopefully so, is your speed, and there it is, all by itself, crystal clear. It's absolutely brilliantly done. It really, really is. Down below that, a more conventional pod of dials, big rev counter in the middle, flanked either side by temperature and fuel gauges. Really is a brilliant setup, way ahead of its time, and still, in my eyes, the best dash design out there by a country mile. Finally, you get this lovely thick-rimmed, leather-bound steering wheel, which is just great to hold. It's been kept in very, very nice condition in here, I have to say, for essentially what is a family car. They can be very heavily used, but this one, as I said, very well cared for indeed. And as I said at the start of the video, point of it's just to show the car operating.
drives absolutely perfectly, can't fault it in any way.